Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Suikoden 2 walkthrough. Alright, so we are back in the castle, and I have completely lost where we're at. I vaguely remember, we still haven't gone to Lake West yet, somehow, some crazy how, but it's looking like we might finally do that. So, cool. I suspect here what we'll have to do is go to Lake West and then come right back. And by doing so, we'll be able to recruit Clive. So I think that's the plan. So we'll see. Okay, there we are. Yes, alright, finally. So, alright, so Fitcher here tells us some sort of directions, kind of. It doesn't sound like he's all that sure where we should be going. But alright, so there he gives us a reference. And Amada says he's going to hang out at the boat. Alright, well, that's fine, because we need to go back anyway. So, good luck, Fitcher. Have fun. Maybe see you soon. We got places to go, though. Okay. Alright, so yeah, like I said, what we'll do here is just return to the castle, and then we'll head down to back down to South Window. Because now that we actually have a ship, Clive will join us. Okay. Do. All right. I really tried to get a rune to drop from one of those target ladies, but I never did get one the entire game. So, kind of feels bad, but that's okay. To be honest, they're not all that useful. Here, Clive is basically right next to the entrance here. Again, keep in mind that Clive actually won't be here if you didn't see the event there at the beginning with Eliza in Muse. So, again, hopefully you've done that. Now, by picking up Clive here, you can actually head to I think it's Lake West immediately, and then go to the inn. And if you've done it soon enough, there will be a letter there. Actually, well, it doesn't matter. There's always a letter there. But basically what happens is if you didn't make it there soon enough, the NPC will tell you, she told me that if somebody didn't show up within whatever 2 weeks, I could just throw it away or something like that. So, and then the guy will tell you, if you're late, how late you are, basically. And again, since I've completely decided to forego that quest, I'll not. Basically, that guy is going to tell me that I'm too late, and again, that's okay. I specifically knew that was going to be how I was gonna do it, so no big deal. As far as combat usefulness, I don't know. Clive is a long-range character, which has its uses, I suppose, but being that I, took advantage of the Muse Matilda bug at the beginning of the game, strategy kind of goes out the window when you're so leveled. So there's that. But I don't know. As far as like combat effectiveness goes, Clive is okay. I was to be honest, I was never really that impressed with him. I guess his sprite looks kind of cool, so you know if that's what you like, then go for it. Here we actually can get on this ship, but you need to talk to this guy in blue. So hopefully I do that. Oh no, womp womp. Go back. There we go. Oh yeah, okay, there we are. So this guy in blue will actually be here for the rest of the game, and you actually don't need to take a motto with anymore. So again, kind of nice. Okay, so it looks like we're heading to Coronet first. We actually can't do anything here, and this guy Genshu here is not going to be recruitable until basically the end of the game. I think his requirement is either something like Castle level 3, or it might even be Castle level 4. And then on top of that, I think you have to have a character that's got like a weapon level of 15 or higher. So again, that's basically the very end of the game, unfortunately. So yeah, and as far as I know, I don't think those troops ever move out of there, which I guess to be completely honest isn't that big of a deal anyway. I'm trying to think if you can get into the north side of Coronet. I think maybe you can later. Okay. Oh, so there, right in that little thing, that basket there, that's the kindness rune. I'm trying to remember this. There's actually, I think, a bug with that where if I think it's something like if someone dies in your so if you equip that and someone dies like once, I think it makes your attack rating go through the roof. I think the way that's supposed to work is if you, and I actually don't know if you like have to heal people to increase that. It actually doesn't really make that much sense to me. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure the ins and outs of that rune. I just know that there's kind of a goofy bug there with, you know, oh, there's a cabbage seed. With, you know, again, if you let somebody die, you can get a really crazy amount of attack out of that thing. And that's actually a weapon rune too, so it's, you know, kind of nice in that regard where it's not going to take up, well, I mean, it's going to take up your weapon rune slot, but for somebody that like is going to do a bunch of damage, that kindness rune is actually really good. You know, normally I tend to stick to like down runes and that kind of thing for the characters that can't really do a whole lot of damage. But on a more offense-oriented character, I'll put a kindness rune on. I think they're really great for that. Here is this Taki's house, something like that? And yeah, Taki. So she gives you, or there's a recipe there in her cupboard. And then I think if you just talk to her 3 times, she'll join you. And she actually gives us hints about recruitable characters, which is kind of nice. There's a group of bandits there. Oh yeah, so that's the hint about Luan, which actually we've already got. And then here she says, "Oh, it's hard to come here, isn't it?" And that's okay. That's okay. You can be honest. I mean, it's not that hard, but sure, it would be a little more convenient if she was at the castle. Actually, to be honest, I never spoke with her after this, so it's whatevs. All right, so here's the inn, and this is what I had referred to earlier. That NPC right here in the green, yeah. So I think you have to have Clive in your party to see this. The message, so that after a week, if no one came to pick it up, I could just throw it away. You're 71 days late. So I don't know what the time translates to, but let's see. What are we at here? We are at 22 hours. So I don't know. I suppose you could probably divide what 71 by however many hours we've got, and that would have been kind of the target time. But I'm not going to do that math because I'm not interested. It is what it is. Okay. Wow. Okay. So that guy is super mean. We'll be able to recruit him a bit later. Although, geez, with that kind of attitude, do we really want to? But anyways. The Rockadillos, I actually think that those have something useful. I just don't remember what it is. It wasn't like a... I don't know. It wasn't all that impressive. I think otherwise I would have actually gone out of my way to try to grab it. But I remember looking it up later and going, oh, well, why didn't I, try to grab one of those? So again, I don't remember what it was though. So couldn't have been that great. But all right, so this is the Kobold Village, I think. I don't know that there's actually anything that we can do here yet. Maybe. Necklaces are good. Oh, gold emblem. Wow, there's 3 of those. Those are actually good for the magic defense, and obviously, I mean, they've got a decent amount of defense as well. But yeah, again, I normally go for more offense-oriented items, though. So I think Clive's gonna get a couple of these just because he doesn't really have anything else. That guy actually tells you, or that kobold says something about collars only being for kobolds, which is basically he's saying necklaces are for kobolds only. So there's a couple of different versions of them in the game. Basically, the basic one is just the regular necklace, I think, and then there's a silver necklace and a gold necklace, and that might be it. But they are... I don't know. I don't actually use the kobolds basically at all. So, that it'd be Gengen and his buddy, which I forget, Gabocha or something like that. Which again, I don't ever use him, so not really on my radar for items that we need to get a hold of. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that large mortar there has the exertion rune. The exertion rune is great. It's another one of those weapon runes that's kind of like the kindness rune, where it's just really good for like offensive oriented characters. So I guess keep that in mind. Let's see, what else do we have here? Boy, we're just gonna do the old stand around trick. There we go. Moving again. So I should actually talk a little bit more about. Oh, this is just a trade spot. The exertion rune. So the exertion rune, you can. Basically, I should say the exertion rune powers up more and more the longer you're in combat. So I think it goes something like, I think it maxes out at is it 6 turns or something like that. So again, you know, better for a offensive-oriented character, I would say. I mean, it's good for anybody, I suppose, but I think it works on percentages though too. So again, you know, somebody that's got or that's able to just dish out more damage is going to get more use out of it. So again, keep that in mind. All right, so this is Drakemouth Village down here. There is nothing. I believe there's nothing even here at this point in the game, other than sadness and sore feet. I do know that there's some stuff later on where you can get like, I think there's like a seed in one of these buildings. Actually, I think it's this building here. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to look at all these different buildings here. Not much in this village, I'll say. And then this guy, unfortunately, blocks your path, which is probably the worst. That path actually leads to a village called Tinto, and actually I think Crom is over there too. And well, yeah, obviously we'll go there eventually, but it's not going to be for quite some time. Okay. Oh yeah, the seed is in here. So if you notice, there's that little bag there. That's where that seed is at, and it looks like I just didn't grab it quite yet. Yeah, I just skipped over it. Which, to be honest, isn't that horrible of an idea anyway, because you can't do anything with seeds anyway for the time being. So, yeah, not a big loss there. Unfortunately, though, there's no, and kind of what would have been nice is had there been like an item shop or something here, maybe that this place would have been, you know, kind of useful to come to, but unfortunately that's just not the case. And there just isn't really much of a reason to be here. So, anyways, let's head up to, I think we need to go to, actually Two Rivers is, yeah, right up here. So, it's kind of a cool place, to be completely honest there. If you notice, the river splits in two there. And it's actually kind of three different sort of cities here. And here's Chaco. Chaco is actually a pretty great character in that he's one of the few that gets 3 open rune spots, and then on top of that, his weapon rune is open too. So he's just super customizable now. I don't particularly like him just because his I find his character pretty annoying, and then on top of that, his sprite is, you know, gross. But again, he's actually really good. So if you can deal with how ugly he is, he'll do work for you. But anyways, this town is kind of cool because it's basically split up into 3 different areas. You've got the human area, and then there's the winger area, which is where we are at right now, and then there's the kobold area. Basically, so the first thing that happens, obviously, is Chaco steals your stuff, which actually is super crummy too, because he steals all your money too. And then you're just gonna want to, you know, follow him or chase him down. Things aren't just for show. Well, good for you. Okay. This lady here is actually Chaco's grandmother, and you can't really, mean, you can sort of interact with her right now, but there's a point later on where you can actually get I think it's a recipe from her, and it's actually missable because there's a point where Chaco kind of shows up again, and then if you don't follow him and kind of he says something actually about his grandmother wanting to meet us, and if you don't actually do that, you can kind of progress, through some of the events here, and then miss out because you hadn't talked to her. So again, I'll definitely be pointing that out once we actually get there, but keep in mind that she actually does have a recipe. Okay, so it looks like Ridley's they're threatening to, I don't know, do some damage here to Fitcher. Becky, go easy on me. You saved me. Well, not yet, we haven't. Okay. Don't make me laugh. Oh, I'll make you laugh. Then I'll make you cry. What? Okay, the bright shield rune should be proof enough. Huh, okay. Well, apparently the bright shield rune is pretty popular. Okay. Okay, so this is Makai, and obviously Ridley as well. So Ridley runs or he's the leader, I suppose you could say, of the kobolds, and then Makai here obviously is the leader of the human village here in Two River. Sort of interesting too is the fact that the Cheapo's grandmother actually runs she's kind of like the leader of I think they call them the Winged Horde. So obviously the Wingers. So the humans as well as the kobolds don't particularly like the Wingers, which is kind of interesting. And you learn a little bit more about them later on too. Basically, and it's not much of a spoiler at all. Just kind of some history that Genkaku was actually the one that suggested to the Wingers that they should come down here to River and kind of start a village here. So again, kind of interesting information, I guess. Okay. I think just for kind of storyline reasons, we actually need to, yeah, you need to come here to the inn and actually, so we can recruit Hans here right now. Hans will open up an armory. I strongly suggest that you do not charge him anything to open an armory there. It's way too easy to get money in this game, and all that really is going to do is kind of delay him getting to your castle. Because again, if you charge him, and the more you charge him, the longer it's going to take for him to actually show up there. So again, I strongly suggest that you do not charge him anything. And then Chaco here is in our room. and I guess he's posing as the hero, which is, I mean, it's kind of funny. I'm in your room, in your rooms, eating your foods. Okay. Oh, okay. So something's up here. It sounds like the kobolds and Makai are fighting. Okay. All right. So kind of an interesting turn of events here, where the kobolds intercepted. It looks like they intercepted someone that had what looked to be a peace treaty. And my impression here, and hopefully I can keep this all straight now because I'm kind of already forgetting these events, but it looked like there was either someone trying to drive a wedge between the humans and the kobolds, which, bravo, that's a great strategy for sure. But, yeah, here, even Fitcher kind of knows that something's up. Gotta hurry. So we need to go talk with Ridley. Now, I think we're actually not going to be able to get into the kobold area. The kobolds basically kind of hole up in there, and they're like, nah, we're not talking to anybody. Ridley doesn't want to see anyone. And he says basically that, which, I don't know. So, as far as strategy goes, okay, I get it. Like, this, it all makes sense too, but, I mean, the reality of this is, it's surprising that two different people that have, lived basically side, or two groups of, that's the kobolds and the humans, that have lived side by side for so long, that Ridley would kind of almost even turn on them so quickly, and especially after Makai is like, hey man, I don't know anything about this. So again, it just it's a little hard to believe that Ridley would be so naive, but well, that's the way it's written, so fair enough. Alright, so Chaco strikes again, and he gets Fitcher's wallet this time. And it's kind of ironic that this time he actually sort of helps us, in that he leads us basically to a secret door, sort of, that leads to kind of like the sewers beneath the cities here. So I know everything there is to know about this town. You'll never catch me. Okay, so here we are in the sewers. Now, the sewers, there's actually quite a few different things here that are kind of good to get. So hopefully I'll point out here if we actually run into any of these encounters. These are worthless. The devil eyes, I would just honestly run from them or let them go if you can. They just don't drop anything, and there's just a lot of other monsters that are, actually useful. So, there's that. Looks like let's just equip Clive with some headgear. Resurrection rune. That's kind of nice, actually. It's one of those rare runes that allows you to, resurrect people in the middle of combat. Now, just here to the left, so this is a secret compartment sort of back here. And this is going to lead to a room with Sid, and we actually can't recruit Sid quite yet. Sid's also another great character. These things have an item, and I can't remember which one it was. Oh, there it is, the Banshee rune, so I really lucked out there. I'll be honest, I don't think that that rune is good at all, but I think I, just kind of grabbed one to grab one. Now, the other kind of cool thing about those is this area, nothing is, nothing's like a one-time deal. So, well, I shouldn't say that. Basically, you can keep, running into this stuff later. So, I guess keep that in mind. The land sharks here have a recipe. And I think it actually took me quite a while to get that, but I did. So hopefully I've got footage of that. It's actually one of the important ones to get too, because the droppable recipes are the important ones, I'd say, in the game, because there's actually a bug, and I've mentioned this earlier on, but the bug, it has to do with all of the actual droppable recipes. Like the other recipes in the game aren't really affected by it, but what ends up happening is we'll eventually get a cook, and if you give the recipes to the cook, the droppable ones, you can sometimes block monsters from dropping them, just because they're, again, it's some crazy stupid bug. But again, I guess just keep that in mind. So what I'm actually going to do is grab all of the, I think there's 5 recipes that are droppable, or drops from enemies, I should say. And I'll get all of them and then hand them over once I've got all of them. The Shadow Men here, whatever those things were called, or were they assassins, something like that? Those guys drop the Mangosh. The Mangosh is my favorite shield in the game. Basically, it gives your character, whoever has it equipped, a better chance to counter attacks with, which is, I just think is amazing. So, I'm gonna, I don't know if I think I farmed one up. Now, I know there's a couple of other ones in the game that you can get. I know there's one in a chest somewhere. And, so again, keep in mind that there are a couple of different spots to kind of grab those. Okay. Looks like we're actually getting towards the end here. The old inventory is full again, obviously, and I got a couple of those stat items, which I always like to have. Actually, now that I think about it, so I've taken all of my footage now, and I didn't use a single one of those. But the reason being was I was, planning on potentially taking advantage of the bug that revolves around those. Again, I've already spoke about that a couple times, so I won't go over that again because I'm also about out of time. So, as always, hope the guide was helpful, and hope you join me for more videos. Thanks for watching.